Have you ever seen a tractor that requires a flamethrower just to start? Or a farm machine that looks exactly like an alien spaceship? Brace yourself, because today we are making contact with the 8 most insane mechanical monsters in history. The engineers who built these didn't just want to plow fields. They wanted to defy the laws of physics. From heavy steel beasts to race cars disguised as plows, this list will make you say, "What on earth is that?" These rare engineering marvels are loud, dangerous, and completely real, proving that history is stranger than fiction. You need to see them moving and hear them screaming to actually believe it. Do not look away, because number 1 is the mysterious ancestor of the legendary Porsche lineage. Hit subscribe right now and let's get started. Let's kick things off with something that proves sheer size isn't the only measure of mechanical insanity. Meet the Howard Gem. At first glance, you might dismiss this as just a vintage rotavator or a standard walk-behind tractor. But do not be fooled by its simple classification. In the world of garden machinery, the Howard Gem is widely and fearfully known as the Beast, and for very good reason. Introduced by the Howard Rotavator Company in England in the late 1940s, this machine wasn't designed for the casual Sunday gardener who wants to plant flowers. It was built for people who wanted to physically wrestle with the earth and win. What makes the Howard Gem so legendary is its sheer over-engineering and substantial mass. While modern tillers are lightweight and often plastic, the Gem is a hunk of heavy cast iron and solid steel that weighs nearly 600 to 700 pounds depending on the engine. It was typically powered by a massive twin-cylinder engine, often a British JAP or a Sachs diesel, that delivered torque so violent it could drag the operator across a field if they weren't paying attention. It featured a complex gearbox that offered multiple forward speeds and a reverse gear that was notoriously tricky. This machine didn't just till the soil, it pulverized it with aggressive power. The Gem in its name is ironic because driving one was a physical workout that left operators completely exhausted. It had a unique differential system that allowed you to turn this heavy beast on a dime. But mastering the clutch and throttle required a level of skill lost today. It represents a time when safety features were non-existent, and machinery demanded respect. If you see one of these at a vintage show today, listen to the engine idle. It sounds less like a garden tool and more like a heavy motorcycle ready for war. It is the undisputed king of walk-behind tractors. Next up, we travel to Italy to witness a machine that sounds like a heartbeat and starts with fire. This is the Landini Velite. If you are used to simply turning a key to start your engine, the Velite will seem like it's from another planet. Produced between 1935 and the early 40s, this tractor is the definitive example of the hot bulb engine, or testa calda in Italian. It is famous not for how it looks, but for the complex ritual required to wake it up. You cannot just hop on and drive, you have to prepare it like you are performing a mechanical ceremony. To start a Landini Velite, you strictly have to heat the cylinder head, the hot bulb, with a blowtorch until it is glowing red hot, reaching temperatures over 700 degrees Fahrenheit. Only then can the fuel ignite under compression. Once it fires up, the sound is unmistakable, a slow, rhythmic thump, thump, thump that can be heard from miles away. It runs at an incredibly low RPM, often idling at speeds where you can almost count the individual explosions. The Velite was a masterpiece of simplicity, designed to run on practically any low-grade fuel available, which was crucial for Italian farmers during difficult economic times. But the weirdness doesn't stop at the engine mechanics. The driver's experience on a Velite is incredibly intense and raw. You are sitting directly behind this massive exposed flywheel and a hot, glowing engine block. There is no cab, no soundproofing, just you and the raw power of combustion. It's a machine that feels alive in a way modern tractors do not. The Landini Velite is a beloved icon in Europe today, not because it was the most efficient, but because it has a soul. It reminds us of an era when farming was a partnership between man and a very temperamental, fire-breathing machine. Now, let's move to North America for a heavyweight champion that defies the laws of cooling. The Roomley Oil Pull Type K. When you look at a Roomley, the first thing you notice is the massive, boxy front end that looks like a locomotive. You might assume that's a radiator filled with water, but you would be wrong. The oil pull name isn't just marketing. It literally describes the cooling system. This tractor used oil, not water, to cool the engine. The exhaust was directed up through a stack, creating a draft that pulled air through the oil cooling tower. The Type K, produced roughly between 1918 and 1923, is a prime example of this technology. Why use oil? Because water freezes in winter and boils away in summer. Oil did neither, making the Roomly incredibly reliable in the harsh extremes of the American prairies. The engine itself was a kerosene-burning monster with two huge horizontal cylinders. Weighing in at over 6,000 pounds, it didn't rev. It chugged. The sound of a Roomly underload is legendary, a deep rhythmic bark that enthusiasts describe as the most beautiful sound in agriculture. It was heavy, slow, and practically indestructible. Driving a Type K was a lesson in patience and momentum. These machines were incredibly heavy, designed primarily for belt work, like powering threshing machines, but also for heavy plowing. The weirdness here is the sheer audacity of the engineering. Using the exhaust gas to suck air for cooling is a stroke of genius that we rarely see today. The Roomly oil pull looks like a rolling factory, a testament to an era when engineers solved problems by making things bigger, heavier, and completely immune to the elements. It is a true dinosaur of the tractor world. Hold on to your seats because we are entering the realm of total failure and bizarre complexity. Number 4 is the Lanz Landbow motor. Before Lanz became famous for the successful Bulldog tractors, they tried to reinvent the wheel, literally. Developed around 1911 to 1916 in Germany, the Landbow motor was not a standard tractor meant to pull a plow. It was the plow. It was a self-propelled rotary tiller, a massive machine equipped with a motorized spinning hoe at the rear. The idea was to combine the tractor and the implement into one single unit. On paper, it sounded brilliant. In reality, it was a nightmare. The machine was heavy, awkward, and incredibly complex. The weirdest feature was its engine and transmission layout, which had to power both the wheels and the massive rotary tiller simultaneously. If the tiller hit a large rock or a tree root, the shock would transmit through the entire machine, often causing catastrophic mechanical breakage. It was a unibody concept long before the term existed, but applied to heavy tillage in the worst way possible. It looked like a confused steam engine trying to dig a hole. The Landbow motor was a commercial disaster. It was too expensive, too difficult to maintain, and too heavy for soft soils, where it would simply sink under its own weight. However, it earns a spot on this list because it represents the fearless experimentation of early 20th century engineering. It shows that before the standard tractor layout was finalized, engineers were willing to try absolutely anything. Today, the Landbow motor is incredibly rare, a fossil of a forgotten evolutionary path in farm machinery that serves as a reminder that not all innovations are actually improvements. At number 5, we have a tractor that tried to bring luxury car smoothness to the rough farm fields, the Eagle 1630. Manufactured by the Eagle Manufacturing Company in Appleton, Wisconsin, this machine stands out for what was under the hood. In the 1920s, most tractors had rough, one-cylinder or two-cylinder engines that shook the fillings out of your teeth. Eagle decided to be different. They equipped their tractors, like the Model 6A, often called the 1630, with a silky smooth six-cylinder engine. This was almost unheard of at the time for a general-purpose farm tractor. The design of the Eagle 1630 is visually striking. It sits somewhere between a commercial truck and a farm tractor. The radiator and hood design borrow heavily from the automotive industry of the era, giving it a somewhat dignified appearance compared to its crude competitors. But don't let the looks deceive you. It was a capable machine. The six-cylinder engine provided steady, even power, which was particularly good for belt work, running threshers and sawmills with less vibration and noise than the banging two cylinders of the day. However, the weirdness lies in its market positioning. It was an anomaly, too complex for the average farmer who could fix a Fordson with a hammer, yet not powerful enough to compete with the giant steam engines. The Eagle 1630 remains a fascinating what-if in tractor history. It feels like a machine that was ahead of its time, in terms of engine refinement, but stuck in the past with its chassis design. Seeing one run today is a treat. It purrs rather than bangs, a gentleman's tractor in a world of roughnecks. Prepare for some serious style. Number 6 is the Deutz F2M 417, a tractor that looks like it should be speeding down a highway rather than plowing a potato field. Produced in Germany in the late 1930s, specifically 1935-1940, this machine is a prime example of the streamlined design era. Most tractors are boxy, utilitarian, and ugly. The F2M 417, however, features a rounded, sweeping hood and grille that mimics the high-speed trains and luxury cars of the 1930s. It is undoubtedly one of the most beautiful tractors ever made. But it's not just a pretty face. This was known as a Stahlschlepper, or steel tractor, designed as a road tractor for haulage as much as for field work. It was engineered to haul heavy loads on the road at speeds approaching 10 to 12 km/h, which was respectable for the time. Under that beautiful hood sat a robust two-cylinder water-cooled diesel engine. The cabin area, if you can call it that, was surprisingly enclosed for the time, offering the driver a bit of protection behind that sweeping windshield. It looks less like a tractor and more like a locomotive that escaped the tracks. The F2M 417 is bizarre because it prioritizes aesthetics in a field where aesthetics usually do not matter. It reflects a specific moment in German industrial design where form was treated with as much importance as function. Today, these tractors are highly prized by collectors. When you see one, it looks fast even when it's standing still. It is a stark contrast to the open station, cast-iron skeletons that were plowing fields in America at the same time. It is a tractor with undeniable swagger that stands alone in history. Jumping forward in time, we encounter a machine that looks like a giant insect, the Melrose Sprocoop 220. If you saw this silhouetted against the sunset, you might think aliens have landed. While the Sprocoop concept originated in the 1960s, the Model 220 became iconic in the late 70s and 80s. This is not a tractor in the traditional sense of pulling heavy loads. It is a specialized self-propelled sprayer, and its design is completely radical. It features a three-wheel layout, tricycle gear, high clearance to pass over crops, and a cockpit that looks like it was stolen from a fighter jet. The weirdest part of the Sprocoop is the suspension and the speed. It was designed to glide over rough fields at speeds that would shake a normal tractor to pieces, often hitting 15 to 20 miles per hour while spraying. The front caster wheels and the independent rear suspension allowed it to float while spraying crops. The operator sits high up in a glass bubble, controlling the boom arms that extend like wings. It looks incredibly fragile, almost like a bicycle made of pipes, yet it revolutionized how farmers applied chemicals. The Sprocoop 220 changed the mindset from heavy iron to light and fast. Before this, spraying was done with heavy tractors that crushed the crops they were trying to save. The Melro was light enough to leave almost no footprint. Its bizarre, spindly appearance is purely functional engineering. It's a perfect example of form following function, resulting in a machine that looks totally out of place on a farm, resembling a moon rover more than an agricultural tool. It remains a cult classic among American farmers today. Finally, we arrive at number 8, the Allgaier A22. You might not know the name Allgaier, but you definitely know the name of the engineer behind its engine, Porsche. Before Porsche became synonymous with sports cars, Dr. Ferdinand Porsche designed tractors. The Allgaier A22, produced in the early 1950s, around 1950-1952, is the direct ancestor of the famous Porsche diesel tractors. But the A22 has a unique identity, often distinguishable by its robust, rounded red body and the distinctive shape of its hood. It serves as the historic bridge between utility and luxury engineering. The A22 is bizarre because it represents a rare transition point. Unlike the later famous Porsche tractors, which were air-cooled, the Allgaier A22 featured a water-cooled 22-horsepower engine. The design is compact, almost stubby, with a hood that curves down aggressively, a feature often referred to as the Allgaier nose. It looks incredibly stout, like a bulldog ready to charge. But the real quirk is the hydraulic coupling or fluid clutch system available on some models in this lineage, allowing for smooth power delivery that was years ahead of its time. Owning an Allgaier A22 is like owning a piece of automotive royalty disguised as a farm implement. It is a strange mix of high-tech engineering concepts wrapped in a heavy, utilitarian package. The bright red paint and the gleaming aluminum scripts make it stand out at any tractor show. It is the missing link that connects the muddy fields of Germany to the racetracks of Le Mans. It's a beautiful, weird, and historically significant machine that closes our list perfectly, blending humble farming with high-performance pedigree. So there you have it. 8 of the most bizarre, fascinating, and engineered to the extreme tractors that history has to offer. From the fire-starting Landini to the jet fighter Melro, these machines prove that agriculture has never been boring. It takes a special kind of mind to look at a field and think, yes, what I need is a machine that cools itself with oil and sounds like a cannon. If you enjoyed this mechanical deep dive, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Which one would you restore? Let us know in the comments below.